Hey guys, Tisha here, and we're back for another Say What? I, I'm gonna try to say that one time without like laughing like that, but that's how it's in my head, so that's how you guys are gonna get it. So, you guys know how this works. With these Say What videos, I tend to do a lot of reading because I don't want to forget the thoughts that I had while I was watching something. So don't mind me. If you gotta not pay attention to the screen, don't pay attention to the screen. Just listen. So, despite Kody not being active on social media for over a year, he decided to do an interview with two ex-Mormon men. Now, I originally did not know about the interview, but one of you, Tulips and Cats, had made a comment about watching the interview and kind of wanted to know, what my thoughts were. So I'll be honest, I did not watch the entire thing. I watched bits and pieces, scrolled past some things because Kody gets on my nerves. So there are some key points that I'm going to mention that stood out to me. In my opinion, one of the hosts wasn't really feeling Kody, and if I correct, it was the host that is not his friend, because apparently the other host, and I don't want to get them confused, but they are friends, and McKelty even worked for him when she was working at the pawn shop. I don't know if the point of Kody cleaning up, what am I trying to say? I don't know if the point of Kody doing this interview was because he thought that it would clean up his image or not. But being on a live interview where you can't blame the TLC editors or your family for the way that you appear might have not helped Kody's situation, because there were things that he said that I was like, okay, that's not gonna go well. I guess my first question is, what made Kody even do this interview? Why did he sit down with these two men? Kody lets the host know that he felt like he was called to let America basically know about polygamy. I don't know if this was really a calling or if this was just Kody's ego telling him to do this, because we all know that Kody enjoys the spotlight and that he enjoys being put on a pedestal. He enjoys being the son because he wants his wives to revolve around him. Let's not forget that. So to me, Kody didn't do this to bring light to the good side of polygamy, even though I do believe that was part of his intention. I think Kody did this because Kody wanted to be out. Kody loves, and we've seen it throughout the years, I'm doing rewatches now, where any instance where Kody can let someone know, from the florist to the propel instructor to the guy on the safari, that he's a polygamist, he's gonna let them know that he's a polygamist. So I think that this was more about Kody's ego. Kody lets us know that for the first couple years of the show that he enjoyed watching the show, and I believe he said like the first 5 seasons, that even if he did something embarrassing, that he liked it. I don't understand how he can enjoy watching some of his wives struggle with what was going on with the family and their relationship with him. I don't know how he enjoyed hearing Christine say that she lost her best friend, and how he enjoyed watching Mary struggle, and how he enjoyed the different talks about surrogacy, unless it was just he just enjoyed seeing himself on the screen. Because a lot of the earlier episodes of the show, especially me watching it back now, they're very cringy to me, and they really show a lot about Kody that you may not notice at first glance. Why is he saying that he enjoyed it, even if he didn't like the embarrassing things? Why not mention that he didn't enjoy the uncomfortable moments for his wives, which is kind of like what I was just talking about. Look at me jumping ahead of my notes. Now he says he cannot bear to watch the episodes without getting almost physically ill. Do I believe that? Let me lean in. Hell no. I don't believe that. I want to know when he makes that statement, what about the episode now makes him almost physically ill? Is it because he sees what a jerk he is? Or is it just that he's just ashamed of how bad he looks? He feels like talking about the bad experiences on television, the bad moments that he's had with his wives, seeing it replay over and over again has caused problems for him and his family. So basically, because his children, as well as his wives, saw how indifferent he was at times to them, or witnessed how much BS he spoke about them, or how they treated their moms versus how he treated the bird, or how he treated their children versus how he treated the bird's children, or how he interacted with her kids or their kids in other wives' home versus the bird's home. It's caused problems for him. Kody is not going to sit here and make me feel like because he said something wrong one time on TLC that the editors kept giving him a bad edit over and over and over again and replaying it multiple times, and it created issues. No, see, what we've realized over time is that a lot of the issues that your wives had with you, that they pushed it under the rug because you didn't want to deal with it. The true issue with these clips, with seeing this over and over again, is despite Kody seeing it over and over again, he had an inability or no desire really to change. In this interview, Kody brings up the clip that we saw where he said he was going to bring patriarchy back, and that the wives need to follow what he says. Kody then tells us that he has a sister who is LDS, and she got upset with him for saying that. He said that his sister hasn't even watched the show, doesn't even watch the show, and here she is after 13 years deciding that she's going to watch it and she's going to bring this up during Christmas, and she was chastising him for what he said during that clip, as she should have. She should have said something, because you're her brother, she's a wife, and she heard what you had to say. He says he had to stand up and pace the room because she had not been loyal, there's that word again, enough to even check on the show before. And here she goes 13 years later to say something about a clip. I want to know, what is the deal with him being loyal? Why does he feel the need to always say something about loyalty? The loyalty of his wives, the loyalty of his children, now the loyalty of his siblings, without being loyal himself. You want loyalty, but you're not loyal. I'll talk about that a little bit further down below. Kody says that he didn't like what she said, and he had to stand up because he was upset. She isn't loyal. Kody didn't like that she checked him on his BS. He says he had a problem with her chastising him about the worst day of his life. I want to know, how was it the worst day of his life? Was it the worst day of your life because Christine was leaving? Because you said you didn't want Christine. You said you wish you relieved she was leaving. Was it the worst day of your life because you understood now that the one true connection to your family that was really about bringing your family together, the one true person that hosted multiple events, even though Mary likes us to think that she loved to host events, the one person who was always cooking and always gathering and always having celebrations, that she was that focal point for the children? Is that why it was the worst day of your life? Or was it just the worst day of your life because finally she left you and it was shown on national television, and now we can really say that you're a failure at polygamy like we've known now for several years? Here's the thing. Kody meant what he said, even though he's saying that that's not what he meant. It was just a heated moment. Kody meant every bit of that, because in my rewatch, in season 5, we see that Kody and Mary are getting into it because Kody doesn't like that Mary isn't letting him drive when he's talking about how tired he is and Mary's not fatigued from drying. He gets in a disagreement with her over this, and he slams the door like a child throwing a tantrum and says that sometimes he feels like just barking orders and making them obey, obey, obey. Yes, he very much so wants wives that do and say whatever it is that he wants them to do. He very much so wanted to be the head of his household, and he finally got a little taste of it when the bird came in and he got to experience what it felt like to lead. Even though she kind of steered him the way that she wanted to steer him, he got to lead her. If you don't give him praise the way that Robin has given him praise, if you criticize him the way that his sister decided to when she told him what he said wasn't right, if you call attention to how indifferent he is to your feelings the way Christine has done for years, then it is a problem. Kody said that a therapist told him that his wives would be just as unhappy in monogamy as they are in polygamy. And I said, say what? Say what? What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound like anything that a therapist would say. Do you all believe that a therapist or a counselor told him that? Maybe that therapist was Kody, because we all know that Kody changes things just like the way Robin changes things. Example, Mary says that she never kicked him out. She told him he needs space, whereas he said Mary kicked him out. You see, these are the types of changes that we see. Kody said he felt like at one point he was constantly asking the wives, are they okay? Are they okay? Are they happy? Because I want you to be happy. When was he doing this? Because in the episodes that I'm watching, I've seen time and time again where anytime a wife brings up any type of issue that they have with him, he gets extremely defensive, he gets angry, he cuts them off, and sometimes even leaves. And this is something he was doing as early as season 1. It isn't something that just started happening. He said that their job wasn't to keep me happy, but I was supposed to make them happy. And any smart woman would realize that keeping me happy is going to work better for you. This is the crap that I'm talking about. He wanted those wives to comply, not complain. Because they complained, he punished them, he mistreated them, and he didn't love them as he should have. He now says that it's hard for him to look at polygamy and see people happy in it, that he doesn't really believe it. So my question is, are your friends, example, the Dargers that we've seen on TV, are they not in a good marriage? Are they faking it? I don't think Kody ever truly wanted polygamy, because I don't think that he truly worked for it. He said when you're in a good marriage, you guys can mess up and you'll be okay with each other. But now that he's not, other things are being said. They're not protecting him anymore, basically. He thought that his marriage was a total success with his 3 wives, especially when the Diesel Jeans model came into his family. Robin tried to make us think that Kody wanted thicker girls, but Robin has said on different occasions about how he stuck with them through their stretch marks and weight gain and all of that. And here Kody is talking about this girl in these diesel jeans, which very much so makes me feel like he never was about all of that, that Kody's ego really took a rise once Robin came into the family, because she was slim. She wasn't thick like the other girls. He says that he thought that Robin, this diesel jeans girl, this 10-year younger than him girl, coming into the family and wanting him was the biggest, I quote, validation, because she had other people in the church that were interested in her, but she chose him. So basically she helped his ego. I don't care about the fact that the bird swooped down and wanted him, because she wanted that money, honey. And all Kody wanted initially, it wasn't love, because it wasn't love that he felt. It was infatuation. Kody was happy to have that arm candy. Kody said for years his 3 wives were bitter about the bird having such a long honeymoon with him, even though that they each got a honeymoon of their own. There's no comparison to a 2 to 3 day honeymoon where you're in the car and you go road tripping and on a hike and then you come home, versus 11 days in sunny California where you're at the beach, y'all are surfing, y'all are going on propelling, zip lining, safari, cute dates and all that other stuff. There's no comparison at a time when you supposedly were financially strapped. Let you all tell it. He said this caused a lot of problems and a lot of resentment, and that the bird has always been the kindest woman that Kody has ever met, and she's a little shy. So anything to make her seem like she's just this timid individual, but we've seen other sides of the bird, so I'm not trying to hear that. The best part of the interview was when a woman called, because they had a portion of the interview where there were callers. And I wish they took more calls, honestly, but I think one of those calls scared them, so maybe they didn't take as many. The woman called and said, in watching the show, you said that a wife, basically referring to Christine, was disloyal by keeping their kids away from their husband. We all know that he was referring to Christine when he said this, because he's trying to now say that Christine leaving is the reason why he does not have relationships with his kids, rather than the fact that Kody is the reason why his kids do not have relationships with him. Rather than acknowledging that he didn't do his part with his part as a father, and he wasn't being involved with other children, he likes to blame Christine. She said, how could you say that when Robin did and does the same thing to her first husband? Drop the mic, y'all. If y'all have a mic, drop it. Because I was like, yes, I am tired of these padded interviews. The other interviewer was giving him a little heat when he was talking about sacred loneliness and all that other stuff. And he was like, wait, are you trying to say you've experienced sacred loneliness? You, the husband? So I did like that aspect. But Kody got a fluff piece, and Kody agreed to do this interview because his friend was protecting him. We're going to call it the way that I see it. Y'all let me know down below what you think about it. As soon as that was said, as soon as she said, how can you say that when Robin did the same thing to her first husband? You see Kody raise his hand because he wants to interrupt her. He says, Robin never did that. He had access to the children all the time, and he chose not to see them. The caller says, does her kids even know that their father is, and I like she said their father is struggling with cancer and possibly dying? And Kody says, rather than acknowledging that, they've chosen not to interact with him. Just like Kody's children now have chosen not to interact with him. I don't think that Robin's ex, and I can't think of his name right now, I don't think that the children truly understand what their mother has done. And I wish someone from their biological family would present them with the facts about their mom, because Robin and Kody have really brainwash these children. After the question is asked, he then decides that he is uncomfortable with that question, and he's going to have to pass on it because it's about someone else and someone else's life. It was not about someone else and someone else's life. It was about your wife and also you, because you helped create this. You didn't really want the children to interact with their father. There were times, and I guess I'll run into it in my rewatch, where Robin stated that you really didn't like talking about him. Janelle has said it before too. So when you're questioned about your hypocrisy, you can't answer it. And as he requested, the host dropped the call. I'm going to end it with this. Kody wants loyalty, but where was his loyalty when he brought Robin into the family? When he tricked Mary into getting a divorce? When Isabel had her back surgery and he didn't go? When Isabel was taken to college and he didn't go? When Maddie's daughter had to get amputated and he did not show up for that either because of COVID? And then when his wife Janelle went, he tried to say something along the lines of she's on a vacation. Where was his loyalty when Truly was so severely dehydrated while she was being watched by him that she had to be rushed to the doctor, where they found out that she was having kidney failure? Where was his loyalty when Janelle wanted to pay off that property, you know, the one that they've had at this point for almost 4 years, and he bought all these things and cars and vehicles and new rings and all this other stuff? And all she wanted to build was not even a big house, was a little casita. Where was his loyalty when he told Janelle to kick her sons out because they weren't following his COVID rules, when Kody wasn't following them either? Where was his loyalty when he decided to neglect 3 loyal wives of over 16 years for this 4th diesel wife bird rat? Where was it? You guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I plan on reviewing season 18, episode 2 night, but we all know that my Sunday upload always struggles, so it probably won't be up until sometime Monday afternoon. Please like and comment, and subscribe if you haven't done it. What are you waiting for? Until next time. See, if this is your first time here, I'm going to tell you that I have a very funny relationship with this clicker. I need to come up with a name for it because sometimes she works perfectly and other times she acts like she doesn't need to work. You know what? I don't want to call it a she. She's a he. He sometimes acts like he doesn't know he wants to work. So let's try this again. Until next time. Okay, she ain't working at all.